Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the channel, where today I am going to be reviewing Thief's Magic by Australian author Trudi Canavan, which is book one in the Millennium's Rule series of 5 books. Trudi Canavan is an author that I've greatly enjoyed in the past, and I will leave a link in the description below to my review of her previous work, fundamentally the Black Magician trilogy and the Traitor Spy trilogy as well. So this is an author that I really enjoyed. I actually got to meet in person once at a book signing in London. I was sort of waiting for Millennium's Rule to be finished, because this 5 book series, first book, this one, Thief's Magic, came out in 2014, and I think the series was finished in 2020. So I was waiting for things to get wrapped up and get back reading an author that I've really enjoyed in the past. So what we've got here is a promising start. I've really enjoyed this book. I'm not going to spoil anything here, I'm just going to give my overview. So the book starts, we follow two characters. So the first one is Tien. He is a young student in some sort of university type setting, the academy, where he's a student of archaeology and wizardry, sorcery. And we have an opening scene where he's excavating a tomb and finds a magic tome that contains the spirit of a lady that got converted into the book and stores knowledge, and he interacts with the book to find knowledge about the world and events in times past. And the academy doesn't quite agree with him having that book, and away we go. We're off to the races. He runs away, and he sets on a quest to basically bring this woman back to life if he can. And I haven't spoiled really much there. We also follow the steps of Riel. Riel is a young lady from a well-to-do family, which are sort of new rich people. Her family are paint makers, and they've sort of over time they've come into money, but they're not quite accepted by the upper echelons of the society they live in, and she sort of struggles socially. And then she finds out that she can actually use magic, but in this part of the world where she lives, the use of magic by women is frowned upon, and it's a society heavily controlled by a priesthood, some sort of religious sect that control the magic. And because of her use of magic, away we go. Now, presumably these two characters are bound to meet at some point, but they don't do it in this book. Furthermore, they may not even be in the same world, because in this new setting that Trudi Canavan has created, we are told that there are lots of different worlds. So I think Brandon Sanderson has got a lot to answer for, and traveling through worlds is possible through the use of magic. But in the world where Tien is, fundamentally, sort of magic is running out. And when people use magic, they leave something called the suit behind, which only wizard, magicians, magic users can see. And because they use all this magic to propel and make all the machines they create a function, the world is running out of magic. So where does the magic come from? There's some hints about the creative, or people being creative sort of generates new magic, and are people being creative enough to replenish the magic in the world or not? So I guess there are some themes and some thoughts there, and the book is trying to say something, isn't it? Now the world, the setting is, I find it really interesting, and I really enjoyed, because it has got some steampunkish elements to it. So machinery and magic coexist. So you do have trains, and you do have flying machines that are sort of magic assisted, not necessarily operated, but they're magically assisted or enhanced. So it's an interesting sort of post-Victorian, quasi or post-Renaissance, quasi-Victorian, somewhere in between there. So it's a very interesting setting, or I found quite enjoyable. A nice breakaway from the much tried and tested European medieval setting. The narration obviously jumps between the two characters, but it does take time with each one. So you start the book with Tien, and maybe you spend 100 pages with him, and when things get really interesting, then you jump to Riel's point of view, although the book is told in the third person, and you spend 100 pages with her, and when things get interesting, you jump back to Tien, and we jump back and forth, sort of evenly spread between the two characters. And is it cheap or is it effective? At first I got irritated because you connect with Tien and you want to know what happens with him and where his adventure and decisions are taking him. But then as you get to know Riel, you connect with her and the issues she goes with, and then you jump back and forth. And as the book moves on, the jumps get smaller and smaller and smaller, although not that's like a silly, but you know what I mean. And it's very, very effective. The book is about 540 pages and it reads fairly easily. A final thought that I wanted to mention about the book is the magic system. So in essence, there is some sort of magic system where the only two things you can do is to sort of stir up or quiet things down, kind of. But basically it allows you to do anything, because you could get air, and if you could sort of stir it up, you can heat it up, as movement generates friction and heat and all the stuff, or you could steal it and sort of cool it down and make cold things. And equally, like if you shoot an arrow, you could sort of push it away or hold it back. You could, you know, it's a sort of fairly basic push and pull type magic system, but within that you can push and pull pretty much anything. You can sort of push the air underneath you to lift yourself, or to slow your fall down. So it's an interesting magic system, but it's not too convoluted. You do not get those very tropey exposition dumps when there is a hard magic system that you have to get through, and it's sort of fairly organic, and it's well fed into the narration, although there's something a bit more going on there, because you can obviously Riel does something that affects herself deeply, so maybe there's more to it than that. So maybe it's not as hard as I think, not as soft as it could be. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm very curious. I'm interested enough to certainly enjoy the book, and I want to pick up book 2 possibly at some point in March. The things that the next book I've picked up is a bit of a break. It's an 800 pager, so it will take me possibly all of February. But anyway, next purchase of books, I'll be picking up book 2 in Millenium's Rule, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. So that's all I have for today. So as usual, please take loads and loads of care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.